foreign universities are just not looking for marks, they are also looking for extracurricular activities?
Definitely. Basically, what drives them for student selection is that a student should be developed as a whole. Because
and that is also a difference between our universities and basic.
यहाँ पे entrance exams का इतना pressure होता है students पे, and which is very confusing for me क्योंकि मैं एक example लेती हूँ. यहाँ पर क्लास 12 में अगर आप साइंस लेते हो, PCM-B लेते हो, मेडिकल लाइन में जाना है या इंजीनियरिंग लाइन में जाना है, तो बच्चे अपने बोर्ड्स को प्रायोरिटाइज नहीं करते क्योंकि वो एंट्रेंस को प्रायोरिटाइज करने लग जाते हैं. एंट्रेंस क्रैक नहीं हुआ तो बोर्ड्स क्योंकि प्रायोरिटाइज नहीं था, तो अब उनके लिए DU में भी एडमिशन मुश्किल है. तो इट्स अ वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग पार्ट. तो पे यूनी को कन्विंस करने के लिए तो होता ही होता है कि आप एक जेन्युइन एप्लीकेंट हो, और इमिग्रेशन को भी कन्विंस करना होता है कि आप एक ऐसे जेन्युइन एप्लीकेंट हो जो आप स्टडी आपका मेन पर्पस है, नॉट वर्किंग एंड नॉट अर्निंग मनी एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ इट. ठीक है, सबका पाथ आगे जाके चेंज हो जाता है कि हाँ मुझे आई वांट टू टेक PR, आई वांट टू बिकम सिटीजन, दैट्स फाइन. But at the beginning of it, you have to be very genuine to the university and immigration through this SOP document that you're going there to study and to get the right skills so that you can make a global impact.
Hello all, welcome to our podcast. Today's podcast will highlight everything about studying in abroad. Immigrating from one country to another can be both challenging and complex, both emotionally and practically. The key research studies indicate that there are lots of difference in Indian education system and abroad education system. Differences in the job market in India and abroad, and also people face mental health issues and homesickness when they migrate from one country to another. Today we have somebody with us who successfully migrated from India to Australia and was able to leverage opportunities in the job market as well. So it will be very insightful for all of us to understand all the differences that exist between both the countries and also the challenges that can be faced by the immigrants and also how to overcome them. So Aisha, welcome to our podcast. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you so much, Ramnik, for having me. Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Chopra and I moved to Melbourne in 2022 to pursue my master's in business analytics. After 2 years of study and also working part-time, I waited another year, did some more work, transitioned from student visa to a temporary residency, which I'm still a temporary resident there, not full PR or a citizen there. But I've now shifted to this 9-to-5 corporate job after my studies in my field, which I think is my calling or my passion. So, and I hope it is. I hope I continue to be passionate about it. So after completing my Master's of Business Analytics, and while I was doing it, I was in sales because that's the experience that I had from India. And then I was working as a sales advisor while doing my studies. Once my studies were done, I also got promoted as a supervisor in that field. And after loads and loads of applications, I got into the field of heavy machinery equipment. So I'm in this industry of heavy machinery and equipment, but my field is information technology, data analysis. So that's a little bit about me, and if you would like to know anything else.
Aisha, you were able to attain master's degree in Melbourne, Australia. So it would be very insightful for us to understand the exact differences in Indian education system and Australian education system.
Right, thank you, Ramnik. There are so many details that I would like to cover in this question, but I'd like to be succinct. I'll try to be. So when I, started doing my master's, it was like completely different, but it was more different for me, you can say, because I was coming from a different field as well. So business analytics was not my field when I was doing bachelor's.
Okay.
And I did Bachelor of Technology from India, in the field of biotechnology.
Okay.
And after 2 years of COVID and a lot of and experience in the field of sales, administration, and operations, and in the educational or the edtech industry, I decided that that's the field that I want to go into, because at that time, technology was advancing. AI was just coming into the picture in 2022. So 2020, I completed my bachelor's. 2022, I took up this master's degree. And in these 2 years, I realized that, I'd like my career to progress faster.
Okay.
And biotechnology is something that would and does require a PhD. Okay. So I think like I changed or evolved in those 2 years, because of which my choices changed, and I went into this field, business analytics.
Okay.
So it was very overwhelming for me specifically, because it was a complete transition into a completely new field.
Okay.
And when I got there, completed my bachelor's, which was completely pen paper based.
Okay.
All my exams, as our Indian audience would know, bachelor's in our country is about, paper pen exams. There's not so many assignments. And even if there are, they're all like pen paper based, and we're going there, giving physical exams. So when I started my master's degree in Australia, firstly, there are exams there, and it really depends on the course that you take up in the university that you go in. It is completely dependent on that. And it also depends whether you've taken up an undergrad course or if it's a postgrad course. It depends on that how many exams you are going to have. If you are going to have exams at all. And there's definitely going to be assignments, the length of assignments, the type of assignments, everything is dependent on the kind of course that you've taken and in the university that you're going to. So coming back to track, and if I'm just talking about myself and my course and my journey, moving there, so firstly, like completely different field, had no idea. My first class, I remember, I went into this, my first it was a compulsory unit. It was called Descriptive Statistics. And boy, like, was I just shocked, and I was scared, like, and I'm the kind of person that I'm all about perfection. So I went into that class, and I had gone into this course with the aim of getting HDs in all subjects. So HD, guys, means high distinction. And high distinction is like getting above 80 marks in each subject. So I did like 16 subjects in my master's, and I'd gone into the aim because, that Indian mentality of being perfect and being the topper. So I just went into that course thinking that, I'm going to get HD in all my 16 units. So going into that class, and I had and I was a biotech student, and here I was doing statistics concepts, hypotheses and null hypotheses and whatnot. So, and talking about the difference was, there's a stark difference of how things happen here and there. So all my units were very practical.
Okay.
So all my professors, stressed, and especially the university that I went into, Deakin University, they're all about practical learning. They prepare you for the job market. All my units prepared me for what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
So they made it all about practicality, application. I had like multiple assignments, and every assignment taught me something. It was definitely not rote learning, which was what I felt in the Indian education system. Like I was made into this machine when I was here. But when I went there, I became more about application, and I became more about, getting things out of theory and, actually using it in different things. So that happened through assignments, through examination, made you do some critical thinking. So those were the kinds of assignments and exams that I did, all computer-based. There were seminars, lectures, and not, 10 classes a day or even 5 classes a day. It was more like, 5 classes a week or something like that.
Okay.
So it was more about, giving you what you need to do things yourself.
Okay.
So they equipped me with the skills to even make my learning easier. So they, drafted these course materials which were available on my student learning website. So and I used to go there, used to study those lectures in advance also, and then my professors taught them in class. So they made it available to you as soon as possible so that you can do some studying on your own as well. And they drafted it in such a good way that it was interesting to study that. Okay. So all my study was very interesting. And then Professors are so supportive. There are also help hubs when you're doing assignments. So if you get stuck there, you can always go into those help hubs and, get some kind of assistance in your assignments from your professors. So with helpful professors, lecturers who are passionate about what they're doing. And I was in like a great environment where, I had the best time studying. So I think like in my whole journey of studies, and I consider myself as a studious person, these were the best 2 years of my life because I learned so much, especially in a field that I had at least not much idea about. So that's the difference between the Indian education system and the abroad education system. But there's more to come. Like this is, I don't want to just say that, it's this Indian education didn't prepare me or something like that, because that was my foundation. But definitely, I think the Indian education system and even my bachelor's that I did here, it was good. I'm not going to say that it didn't develop me. It did. But there were like aspects which are not up to date. For example, all the pen paper based system that has to get out. Like you need to bring in laptops and you need to make it like technology based. The variety of subjects which I did in my bachelor's, I think prepared me even for my master's, because I did variety of subjects. Even as a biotechnology student, I know that I was doing coding, I was doing business subjects, I had like a law unit, I had a military unit. So Indian education system also like prepared me, but I think we also need to promote critical thinking so that we have better public speaking, we have better thinking where we are able to object things.
Exactly, yes.
Especially in politics and with the current political environment, like we've become so logical.
Also, Aisha, I think the students are failing in adapting to the corporate culture, because when we come to corporate, we are not able to apply the theoretical concepts that we learn in our universities.
Right.
Because we had to deal with complex business scenarios here, right? And we are not able to solve them because we have not learned them in our universities. We have been only based on the theoretical concepts in our books. So I think that is the loophole, and that is why unemployment is increasing in India, right? So in order to curb that unemployment rate, it is very important that we adopt that critical thinking. And like you said, exam based hall culture, कि भी exam में गए वो लिख के आ गए, तो वो अगर वो करेंगे फिर हम we are not able to answer questions in our interview.
That's true.
है ना? We are not able to showcase our capabilities better. So, मुझे एक और बात जाननी है मैम, कि जैसे हम एक टीचिंग स्टाइल होता है एक यूनिवर्सिटी का, क्या उसमें भी कोई डिफरेंस था अपार्ट फ्रॉम द कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर?
As I said, Ramneek, that the classes weren't like, my schedule wasn't just filled with classes or something like that. There was enough room for me to go and explore my library, go explore my learning resources, online books, online articles, because they incited curiosity in me, which is why I went completely into my subject. I was very apprehensive about, what path that I had taken up. But like they, ignited this curiosity in me. My professors, the way they taught and they delivered lectures, the way they designed, the way the university designed its lectures, that I was excited about it. So that's like the difference, that how they give you scope to progress yourself. But here in India, like my experience was that I was usually loaded with exams, classes. I used to have 2 exams a day. I think you can relate. Like that's what happens in bachelor's, right? And even
in masters,
everywhere. At every level, we're seeing that there's so much pressure on students. I don't know like how this affects students. Like personally for me, I had like so much pressure developed inside me, and there's a part of me that still doesn't like to fail, and I think failing at initial stages of life is very important, so that you are prepared for bigger failures, so that you have that emotional competency. But we created such a pressuring environment. We've created such a pressuring environment in like today's education system in India, that everybody wants to be perfect. I mean, students, and I used to be one of them, like getting 29 out of 30 and being sad about that 1 mark that I lost, which didn't allow me to reach 30 out of 30. So that being said, I also think that maybe that strict environment made me this perfectionist person. and with all our parents stressing on being good in science and maths from beginning, maybe that did play a role, because at the end of the day, you would know that Indians are making mark everywhere in this whole world. So I can't say that the education system is completely.
There are just some loopholes
there's
that need
just
to be
some
loopholes that need to be fixed.
This is who I am, and I was able to develop there. I was able to use my opportunities there because I was prepared from here.
Sure.
So I also want to remember, and that how that after all, my school, Amity International School, prepared me for it. My university, Amity University, prepared me for it. The company that I worked in prepared me for it. SSSI. So I learned here. I was a student while I was an employee. So I think, as you rightly put it, there are some loopholes that can be covered, and there's some improvements that the education ministry can do. But yet again, like, these are the pros and cons that I've just listed. I'm just right.
Aisha, like you mentioned in your introduction कि आपने डीकिन यूनिवर्सिटी से मास्टर्स डिग्री ली है, तो हमारी ऑडियंस को अगर ये जानना हो तो हाउ टू मेक द राइट चॉइस ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटी फॉर अटेनिंग डिग्री, तो वो कैसे, मतलब डीकिन ही क्यों, आपने डिसीजन कैसे लिया?
Thanks, Dominic, for the question. There's two different parts to this. So firstly, personally for me, I chose Deakin University because there was this emotional connect with me, because my brother also studied from there. And he did his master's from there. So that was 20% of the decision. But then I researched about the university. There was good scholarship that I was getting. I was qualified for good scholarship in that university. So that was a very big driving factor.
Okay.
I did apply to other universities as well, such as the University of Melbourne. But as you would research more, as the students who are watching this video would research more, they'll realize that कुछ universities की fees बहुत ज़्यादा होती है, and आप पर्टिकुलर स्कॉलरशिप क्राइटेरिया को कभी कभी नहीं मीट कर पाते हो. अगर आप कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के स्कॉलरशिप क्राइटेरिया मीट नहीं कर पा रहे हो, डजंट मीन आप किसी और यूनिवर्सिटी के नहीं करोगे. तो एक ये बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है वहाँ पे. यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि हम एंट्रेंस एग्जाम्स की उस रैट रेस में फंस जाते हैं, लेकिन वहाँ पे वो हर स्टूडेंट को अलग अलग यूनिवर्सिटी अलग अलग टाइप के स्टूडेंट ढूंढ रही है. तो हो सकता है कहीं आपको एक कल्चरल एडवांटेज हो, या आई मीन टू से कहीं आपको ऐसा एडवांटेज हो कि आप आर्ट्स में अच्छे हो या म्यूजिक में अच्छे हो, बिसाइड्स बीइंग गुड इन योर लाइन और इन योर फील्ड, तो आपको वहाँ पे थोड़े सा एडवांटेज मिलता है. कोई और यूनिवर्सिटी है जो कि स्पेशली डीकन यूनिवर्सिटी, जो कि साउथ एशियन स्टूडेंट्स को बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं. तो ये एक फैक्टर था मेरी स्कॉलरशिप का, क्योंकि मैं इंडिया से थी, एंड डीकन इंडियन मेरिट स्कॉलरशिप करके भी एक चीज़ होती है. तो अगर आप उसको देखोगे, रिसर्च करोगे उस बारे में, तो क्योंकि ये डीकन और इंडिया की एक पार्टनरशिप है, तो वो उसने भी ड्राइव किया. तो टू बी ऑनेस्ट, क्योंकि मेरे को बचाने थे पैसे और मेरे को चाहिए था कि मेरे को एक अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी से पढ़ाई मिल जाए, एंड मेरे ब्रदर का भी एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा था वहाँ पे, तो ये मेरा रीज़न था. लेकिन मैं डेफिनेटली इनकरेज करूँगी लोगों को कि स्टूडेंट्स को, हमारे फ्यूचर स्टूडेंट्स को, हमारे who are thinking to go abroad and study there, I would suggest that do your research, do some Googling, do some chat GPTing, and research about different universities. These are the criteria which decide scholarship, as I already mentioned. What things you are good at. If you've done any sort of debating, if you've got good marks in your year 12 or in your bachelor's. So these are some of the criteria, like how well you've performed throughout, and also like what your extracurricular activities are. All of these things affect your scholarship. So this requires a lot of research. जितना मैं कवर कर सकी इस आंसर में, I tried my best.
So basically, जो foreign universities are just not looking for marks; they are also looking for extracurricular activities.
Definitely. Basically, what drives them for student selection is that a student should be developed as a whole. Because
and that is also a difference between our universities and these universities, right?
As I said before, यहाँ पे entrance exams का इतना प्रेशर होता है स्टूडेंट्स लिए, एंड विच इज़ वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग फॉर मी. क्योंकि मैं एक एग्जांपल लेती हूँ. यहाँ पर क्लास 12 में अगर आप साइंस लेते हो, PCM लेते हो, मेडिकल लाइन में जाना है या इंजीनियरिंग लाइन में जाना है, तो बच्चे अपने बोर्ड्स को प्रायोरिटाइज नहीं करते, क्योंकि वो एंट्रेंस को प्रायोरिटाइज करने लग जाते हैं. एंट्रेंस क्रैक नहीं हुआ तो बोर्ड्स क्योंकि प्रायोरिटाइज नहीं था, तो अब उनके लिए DU में भी एडमिशन मुश्किल है. तो इट्स अ वेरी कंफ्यूजिंग पाथ. और जो एक्सेप्शनली गुड होते हैं ना म्यूजिक में या स्पोर्ट्स में, सिर्फ वो एक स्पोर्ट्स या म्यूजिक कोटा के थ्रू डीयू में एडमिशन ले पाते हैं। लेकिन उन बच्चों का क्या, जो
डिबेटिंग में अच्छे थे, या शायद जो डिबेटिंग में
अच्छे थे, या
स्पीकर्स
लिखते हैं, या जो इंग्लिश अच्छी लिखते हैं, या जो आर्टिकल्स लिखते हैं, अनलेस उन बच्चों ने कुछ एक्सेप्शनली गुड ना किया हो ना, जैसे कि कोई किसी टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में उनका कोई आर्टिकल आ गया, या वो किसी इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे फर्स्ट आ गए, उनका कोई चांस नहीं। क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ चाहिए होता है कि आपको एक्सेप्शनल होना होता है। ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है कि कोई ऐसा बच्चा है जो हर चीज में थोड़ा थोड़ा अच्छा हो, तो फिर क्या उस बच्चे का कोई फ्यूचर नहीं है? ऐसा नहीं होता। तो वहां पे इन मूविंग टू लाइक Australia or US or Canada, and I'm just talking about the educational level right now. I'm not talking about the immigration part of it. I'm just talking about like what in terms of education they are very accepting of students. They do want that their students are creative. They have innovative thinking in them. They have critical thinking in them. They are somebody who have experience in arts, in music, in sports, in studies, in whatever field that they've chosen. So this is what decides scholarship criteria as well. So that's why extracurricular activities matter. So if you've done like inter-school competitions, or if you've been in music in the past, if you've been in school choirs, or you've done well 80 plus or 75 plus in your class 12, and maybe you've written a novel on your laptop, maybe you've done like good writings, all of this affects your application.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So that's what makes a difference. I think it's important that you are good in English from the start. Be prepared. Make sure that you're reading a lot and that your English marks are good. Try to this is one aspect that I would say that you have to be good. So work on that. And that will really help you. Try to participate in things as much as you can, so that you have this bunch of certificates when you finish school or when you finished bachelor's, so that the next level that you go to, you have some proof with you. So that's.
How difficult was for you to apply visa, and how much time was taken for your visa to get accepted?
Okay, so I applied for 2 visas. Firstly, like when I was going there as a student, I applied for the student visa, and I took help from a migration agent here. But interestingly, and this is not the same for every student, interestingly, I applied it through my own portal. Okay. So usually what happens, you give all this responsibility to the migration agent. There's many in India. And what these agents do is that they take all your details, including your transcripts. There's this statement of purpose, SOP, and a bunch of other documents, and they upload it through their own portal. I wanted to take charge because I'm the kind of person that, when it comes to the important stuff, I only trust myself and no one else. So I partnered or collaborated with my agent, and I applied my visa myself. There's a lot of things when it comes to student visa. There's a lot of genuine transcripts or genuine documentation that you have to provide. It's all available on the Australian Home Affairs website. So just go through that. They've put all this information in a very easy manner. It did require a lot of research, time, effort, and I had to sit down and research for it before I applied, but it's not impossible. So the processing at the time, 2022, was quite quick, maybe a week or 2, I got my visa. The current environment is very unpredictable, so it might be that you not get your visa right away. In my case, every documentation was very genuine. I've heard that some students, they क्या करते हैं कि वो उनकी कुछ सेटिंग भी होती है IELTS और PT एग्जाम्स में. मुझे उस सेटिंग का कोई आइडिया नहीं है, क्योंकि मैंने जेन्युइनली दिया था, पढ़ के दिया था. एंड मैंने IELTS दिया, अच्छे मार्क्स लाए उसमें. And my transcripts, obviously, from my bachelor's were completely genuine. I got 85% or some 85% above उनमें भी. तो ये सारी चीजें ना, जितनी आप genuine बनाते हो ना अपनी application को, helps you get your visa quickly. तो make sure कि आप अपने efforts तो कर ही रहे हो genuine, आप अपनी application भी genuine रखो. अगर आपको चाहिए कि आपका वीजा टाइम पर आए और वो आपके बैक ऑफ द माइंड में यू नॉट थिंकिंग अबाउट कि वीजा कब आएगा, वीजा कब।
ऑल्सो नॉट लुक फॉर शॉर्टकट्स, जो भी आपका जेन्युइन ट्रांसक्रिप्ट है वो शोकेस। आपने आयशा एसओपी का भी नाम लिया, स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस, तो उसके लिए भी क्विक उनके थोड़ा सा उनके लिए हिंट्स, कैसे लिखें एसओपी अच्छे से?
आई थिंक मेरे को अब तो चैट जीपीटी आ गया और मैं ये नहीं कहती दैट वी शुड नॉट यूज एआई और चैट जीपीटी एट ऑल. इफ यू नो हाउ टू यूज इट, इफ यू नो हाउ टू prompt it, then you know it's on your side and you can draft a beautiful SOP. At the time, I remember I didn't have all these AI tools in 2022. All this AI story started in I think 2023.
Let's start with the purpose of SOP.
So SOP से ये जज होता है कि आपका स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस, लाइक वो देख ऐसे साउंड करता है कि बड़ा ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट है, but it's really about university seeing you as a person and why you are applying to this, you know, university. It's like this essay where you are drafting your life, your professional life, your personal life. You're giving a gist of it and you're relating it to the person you are and why it all relates to this new path that you're taking. Because it's not just about going abroad. It's not just about going into this university, doing some kind of course.
Similar to like cover letter that we give to the organization when along with our resume, then why we want to enter the organization.
कुछ इस तरीके से, लेकिन स्टेटमेंट ऑफ पर्पस थोड़ा सा लेंदी होता है, लंबा होता है इन लेंथ एंड ऑल्सो ज्यादा डेप्थ में जाता है, बिकॉज आप एक तरीके से यूनिवर्सिटी को कन्विंस कर रहे हो कि आप एक जेन्युइन एप्लीकेंट हो, कि आपके लिए ये जो आपने इतना बड़ा डिसीजन लिया है एक कंट्री से दूसरी कंट्री जाके पढ़ाई करने का, कोर्सेज तो यहाँ पे भी है, मास्टर्स तो यहाँ पे भी है, मास्टर्स बाहर आप क्यों कर रहे हो और इसी यूनिवर्सिटी में यही कोर्स क्यों कर रहे हो, ये उनको पता होना चाहिए. अब एसओपी के 2 पर्पस होते हैं एंड डिपेंड करता है अगेन कंट्री में जिसमें आप अप्लाई कर रहे हो. स्पेसिफिकली ऑस्ट्रेलिया की बात करूं तो एसओपी यूनी को कन्विंस करने के लिए तो होता ही होता है कि आप एक जेन्युइन एप्लीकेंट हो, और इमिग्रेशन को भी कन्विंस करना होता है कि आप एक ऐसे जेन्युइन एप्लीकेंट हो जो आप स्टडी आपका मेन पर्पस है, नॉट वर्किंग एंड नॉट अर्निंग मनी एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ इट. ठीक है, सबका पाथ आगे जाके चेंज हो जाता है कि हाँ मुझे आई वांट टू टेक पीआर, आई वांट टू बिकम सिटीजन, दैट्स फाइन. But at the beginning of it, you have to be very genuine to the university and immigration through this SOP document that you're going there to study and to get the right skills so that you can make a global impact. So this is the kind of thing that you have to stress on in your SOP. Obviously, you have to put in a lot of things about your professional life, whatever experience you got, whatever studies which you did, and relate it with how you're taking up this new course or this new path. So for example, in my case, I had to be very descriptive because I was coming from a biotech environment, took up sales and operations in the 2 years from 2020 to 2022. And then I'm going into business analytics all of a sudden. So I had to draft this curve as to why this happened, how COVID affected things, and how my interest drifted into business analytics. So I'm just giving you an example how this has to be detailed out for you to appear genuine to the university and to immigration. So this is what an SOP is about. Again, I said use AI smartly to draft an SOP that's just right for you and depicts who you are.
अब accommodation की बात करते हैं. In your student journey and now as well, कि आपने वो कैसे manage किया? Was the accommodation there very expensive compared to the Indian economy, or was it fine for you? Or were you able to fetch money from your part-time job for the accommodation and all of it?
हाँ जी. So at the beginning जब मैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया मूव हुई, तो टू बी ऑनेस्ट मैं अब बहुत ऑनेस्ट रहूँगी क्योंकि मेरी फैमिली का बहुत सपोर्ट था मुझे, तो और बिकॉज आई एम अ गर्ल और इंडियन हाउस होल्ड में होता है कि लड़की सेफ रहे, सो दे रियली डिड सपोर्ट मी एंड दे टोल्ड मी कि मैं अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी के ही यू कैन से हॉस्टल में रहूँ. बट हॉस्टल इज़ नॉट द राइट वर्ड, इट्स मोर अ रेसिडेंसी, क्योंकि वहाँ पे हॉस्टल जैसी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं होती. वो एक ब्रॉड एनवायरनमेंट है, ओपन एनवायरनमेंट है, तो ना ही वहाँ कोई हॉस्टल वाली कैंटीन होती है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता.
टाइमिंग्स भी नहीं होते कि 7 बजे तक वापस आओ.
Nothing like that. It's just a student housing. Yes, there are rules. You can't make noise after a certain point, but you're free to do whatever you want to do. It's more like a house. So I stayed in that accommodation. Again, उस स्टूडेंट रेसिडेंसी में the rent depends on the kind of room that you've taken up. If it's like a shared house with 5 to 6 rooms or 4 rooms or 2 rooms in it, or if you've taken up a studio apartment, so the rent depends on that and it's going to be high. So student residency, obviously it's an environment inside the university. Access to classes is easier, so expect this to be expensive.
Okay.
Outside of university, still there's second level to it. It's called student housing. You can try to look up student housing Australia in Google. And this is less expensive or even as expensive as university accommodation. Okay. Again, safe, many types of rooms available. And the least, or you can say the most cost-effective way of staying there is, you can try to look up rooms in Marketplace, in Facebook Marketplace, and this is going to be the least and this more like cost-effective. But then taking up this house and you're usually sharing it with a bunch of strangers, could be from the same. It really depends. You can find these kinds of housing solutions in Facebook Marketplace. But then again, the location of such a house that you take up, try to take it up as close to your university as possible. Don't just let go of going to university because it's too far or something like that. Usually, these options range from $200 to $250 a week. Okay. Housing generally is expensive there. Cost of living there is high. So even if you're trying to take up the most cost-effective way of staying there and having accommodation there, that's, I think, the least. I mean, just think about $200 per week at the very least.
Okay. So when we talk about migrating from one country to another, obviously it gives wings. हमें फ्रीडम मिलती है, वी आर एबल टू टेक आवर डिसीजंस आवरसेल्व्स, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं वो होम सिकनेस, वो लोनलीनेस कि वी डोंट हैव अ लव्ड वंस अराउंड, हमारे पास हमारी फैमिली नहीं है, तो क्या ऐसा भी आपको फील हुआ या आपने अपने पीयर्स में देखा हो कुछ ऐसा?
ये बहुत ही वास्ट और एक सब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन है, बहुत डीप क्वेश्चन है, एंड पर्सनल लेवल में मैं बहुत ऑनेस्टली बता रही हूँ, आप फील करोगे लोनली, एंड देयर आर वेज ऑफ मिटिगेटिंग इट, बट इट नेवर रियली गोज अवे, क्योंकि आपने अपनी ज़िंदगी के 20 से 25 साल यहाँ पे बिताए हैं, एंड वहाँ पर आप मूव करके अगर आपको पैसा मिल जाए, सक्सेस मिल जाए, सिटीजनशिप मिल जाए, सब कुछ भी हो जाए, देन यू विल स्टिल, I feel कि majority of the people who move there will agree to this कि there is an emptiness inside them, and that's because वो part, वो सारी रौनक वो यहीं से फील होती है, इंडिया से फील होती है, एंड जब आप वो सारा प्रोसेस कर रहे होगे, when you're struggling there, when you're struggling पहले studies, then for money, then sending money, then getting that job, then doing PR, then doing citizenship, आप कितने steps में question करोगे that was it all really worth it, because आप को कदम कदम पे याद आएगा कि मैंने आज फिर दिवाली छोड़ दी, मैंने आज फिर होली छोड़ दी, मैंने आज फिर ईद छोड़ दी, मैंने ये फेस्टिवल छोड़ दिया, तो आप कदम कदम पे वो लोनलीनेस करोगे फील। इसको मिटिगेट करने का तरीका, जैसे कि मैंने बताया, आप अपने आप को इन्वॉल्व करो, diverse cultures होते हैं वहाँ पे, involve yourself in activities, try new things, don't have to spend money every weekend, don't have to go night clubbing every weekend, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, you can become part of communities, maybe a religious community, maybe start going to church on Sunday, whatever religious thing that you follow, there's a बहुत multicultural environment है वहाँ पे, there are there are temples there are gurudwaras there, so it's up to you how you take that effort to mitigate it. अगर वो फिर आपने स्टेप लिया है कि आप एम्बिशियस हो और फिर आपको करियर करना है और आपको पैसे कमाने हैं और आपने डिसाइड कर लिया कि आपके लिए वो लाइफ वहाँ ज़्यादा अच्छी है, पहले तो आपको वही डिसीजन लेना होगा। अगर आपने कर लिया डिसाइड, फिर वर्क टूवर्ड्स नॉट फीलिंग होमसिक, बट it will always be there.
Let's talk about you. आपने वो days से कैसे deal किया, that feeling of loneliness से कैसे deal किया?
So I think I have the community that I am a part of, like my religious community is very supportive. They keep organizing things, and I found my partner there. So now once I met him there, so being with him, and I think like that changed a lot of things for me, because before him I was just struggling, and it was all about the Australian struggle. So I think that changed things for me, and it does when you meet someone there, because now you have family there. But then again, I have family here as well. I think those days were, they became less painful, you can say, and less, it was because I had this community there. There were a lot of I have this community there. There's a lot of activities to do there. We have festivals. We celebrate there as well. So, but then.
You need to find your community there. अपने लोग वहाँ पे भी ढूंढो.
एक अपने दोस्त, अपना ग्रुप, वहाँ पे नए कॉन्टैक्ट्स बन जाते हैं, वहाँ एक नई दुनिया बन जाती है फिर. और फिर क्या होता है कि बहुत साल आप वहाँ रहने लगते हो ना, फिर वही आपका घर हो जाता है.
Exactly.
तो फिर वो ठीक है, वो चीज़ रहेगी, एक एम्प्टीनेस रहेगी, एक थॉट आएगा. एवरी टाइम आप वीडियो कॉल बटन एंड करोगे तो वो एक थॉट आएगा कि यार वहाँ पे भी तो थी ना एक लाइफ. फिर आप क्या करना, आप 3 हफ्ते आके यहाँ रह जाना, फिर आपको याद आ जाएगा आपको वहाँ क्यों जाना था. तो उसके बाद तो ये मेरा सजेशन है कि मिटिगेट करने के अपनी लोनलीनेस को. लेकिन हाँ, ये याद रखना कि आप वहाँ क्यों गए थे, कोई
पर्पस याद रखना.
अपना पर्पस याद रखना, उसी से कनेक्टेड रहना कि वो क्या था जिसकी वजह से आपको वहाँ पे जाना था. तो ये मैं ऐसे टैकल करती हूँ इसे. टिल डेट मैं फील करती हूँ कि यार याद आ रही है घर की, अकेला सा लग रहा है. घर की, इंडिया की बात कुछ और है, दिल्ली की बात कुछ और है. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है यार. यू विल बिकम सक्सेसफुल एंड जस्ट कम हियर वंस अ ईयर, है ना, मीट योर फैमिली एंड या जस्ट फॉलो योर पाथ, फॉलो योर ड्रीम्स.
थैंक यू आयशा. आई थिंक जो हमारा पॉडकास्ट है वो बहुत इंसाइटफुल रहा होगा स्टूडेंट्स के लिए. उनको समझ में आया होगा वीज़ा कैसे अप्लाई करें, SOP कैसे लिखें, वहाँ पे कैसे वहाँ जाके अपने लिए जॉब ढूंढे, परफेक्ट यूनिवर्सिटी ढूंढे, और होम सिकनेस से भी कैसे डील करें. एक लास्ट नोट दोनों के लिए, पेरेंट्स के लिए भी जो कि अपने बच्चों को नहीं सपोर्ट कर पाते उनके शिफ्ट होने की जर्नी में, ऑल्सो उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए भी जो कि सोच रहे हैं कि हम भी बाहर जाके पढ़ें. प्लीज़ योर लास्ट नोट.
मैं ये कहूँगी कि आई थिंक पेरेंट्स को अपने अंदर झांक कर ये सोचना होगा कि वो किड्स को क्यों नहीं जाने देना चाहते. एंड स्टूडेंट्स के लिए, यूथ के लिए मैं ये कहूँगी उनको भी सोचना होगा कि वो बाहर क्यों जाना चाहते हैं. क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहती दैट you guys are wanting to go abroad so much because everybody else is around you is going there and studying there and settling down there. Life there is very different and it's not for everybody, and it's okay if you go there and decide you want to come back. If you decide now you don't want to go there and that's not your life. So ये चीज़ दोनों साइड से देखनी होगी. जो पेरेंट्स नहीं सपोर्ट कर पा रहे अपने बच्चों को, जहाँ कुछ भी हो सकता है, उन्हें अटैचमेंट है, वो नहीं अपने बच्चों से दूर, ओनली चाइल्ड हो सकता है, नहीं देख उनका एंड उनको उस बच्चे से अटैचमेंट है, नहीं जाने देना चाह सकते. उन्हें लगता है कि बुढ़ापे में उनका कौन ध्यान रखेगा. वो एक अलग मेंटालिटी है, ठीक है, हो सकता है ये सारी चीज़ें उन्हें लगता होगा कि लाइफ यहाँ पे भी अच्छी हो जाती है. इन एस्पेक्ट्स में कहीं ना कहीं वो भी सही है, कहीं ना कहीं वो भी गलत है.
Exactly.
मैं तो ये रेकमेंड करूंगी कि अगर आप में एक बहुत चाह है जाने की, वहाँ सेटल डाउन होने के लिए, ऐसा भी हो सकता है इट्स नॉट फॉर यू. सो थिंक अबाउट इट, डू योर रिसर्च and might as well go there on a tourist visa, take up a short course there and live the life a little bit there. Decide it for yourself if it's for you or not, because no point of spending thousands of dollars on a big course on masters and undergrad, realizing that you want to come back but you can't. What would society think? What would people think? I might as well settle down here, might as well pay off my loan, then go back. Oh, can't go back no more. People will say that, oh my god, she just came back after studying and spending so much money there. So I understand. So decide it for yourself. Do silent struggle, do silent research, and it's okay whatever path that you take. So that's what I would like to
Thank you
end.
so much, Aisha. There were lots of learnings from this course. हमने सीखा कि research is the key. You need to research which country you want to choose to migrate, which course you want to do, which university you want to choose, और आपने कहाँ कैसे आप वहाँ रहेंगे. There were 3 available options for accommodations like Aisha mentioned. आपको जानना पड़ेगा, रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा about all of these 3 options according to your financial position कि आपके लिए कौन सी suitable position रहेगी accommodation के लिए. So research आपको करना पड़ेगा. और आपको पेरेंट्स के लिए हमें ये सीखा that support your children. अगर आपको लगता है कि उनके ड्रीम्स में वो स्ट्रेंथ है, सो सपोर्ट देम. और स्टूडेंट्स के लिए कि आप रिसर्च करिए, अवेलेबल ऑप्शंस देखिए और अपने पैशन के लिए ज़रूर काम कीजिए. थैंक यू सो मच.